On April 28th, Arkansas Tech Career Center will host its annual award ceremony to recognize over 170 seniors that have completed a 2-year program in areas of skilled trades and health sciences. Here to discuss more about what is taking place at ATCC is the director, Mr. Bill Mizaur. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Charis. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. If you could, please just share a little bit about what ATCC is and who it is for.
Sure. Great question. ATCC, the Arkansas Tech Career Center, is it's a career and technical education school for high school students. They come over, they spend part of their day at ATCC learning trades, and while they're enrolled in high school. And so we're the Arkansas Tech Career Center, and we have 7 different programs that students can come over and be a part of and get real-world hands-on training.
And how is high school at the Career Center different than a traditional high school?
Well, one of the biggest things that we focus on different than high school is we're really preparing students for after high school, and they get the opportunity to come in and work in real life situations, real life simulated situations. Some of them are real. In automotive, for example, students get to come in and work on vehicles. They might be their vehicles. They might be employees' vehicles. People call us up and they ask if they can bring their vehicle in. We have welding students who work on welding projects, construction students who get real life experience building picnic tables, benches. We had some students who built hunting blinds this year in construction class, and they were able to take those hunting blinds home and put them in the woods, and they were able to hunt out of them. So I think
that's cool.
Yeah, some of the biggest things we give students is real life hands-on training.
Cool. So what kind of credentials can they earn while they're at ATCC?
Sure. So we offer a long list of credentials, and we want our students to be able to earn credentials that are industry recognized, that are going to put them in a position to be successful when they leave high school. If they want to go to work, they're going to have recognized credentials to help them get a leg up and to get an edge in the workforce. Or they're going to be earning, while they're there, they earn concurrent credits. They're earning high school credits, but they're also earning college credits at the same time. And so they're building a college transcript, and so they're able to save time. Once they graduate, if they want to continue their education, they're already going to have some of their education knocked out, or they're going to have credentials such as, if they're in our construction program, we have pre-apprenticeship opportunities. For example, with the millwright here in Russellville, the time that they spend in class is going to go towards their apprenticeship once they go to work. For the millwright or for a plumber or for an electrician, they're going to have some of the time is going to be cut off. So they're going to be quicker to making better money by taking time away from that apprenticeship, because they're going to honor that time that they're in class. Nursing students can earn a CNA credential. They can earn credits towards their next degree in health science. They can earn phlebotomy, so they can go and draw blood, and then go to work at a long-term health care facility. Our welding trades can work towards and earn an AWS welding certification. Our automotive program, they have the opportunity to earn ASE credentials, so they can go to a car lot and go to work at a mechanic shop, and they have these ASE certifications, and maybe in brakes, maybe it's in steering and things like that, so they can go to work. Machining, so we have a satellite in Paris, so we have ATCC Paris satellite, and we have really great real life shop there where they can work on a CNC machines, and they learn those skills. They learn to program it, they learn to repair it, they learn to troubleshoot those machines, and they get calls, and companies want them to make parts for them, and they make parts for companies while they're in high school. So those are real world, real life experiences that they get while they're at ATCC.
So this really sets them up to be successful in making money in the workforce right after they graduate high school.
That's right. Some of our main goals, we want to educate students. We want to grow them. We want to help develop them, and we help them enter the workforce and put them in a position to not just earn minimum wage, but to help them to to be in a position to make good money, to make a livable wage, high demand, high wage career. And so we don't want them just going out of high school and not having a plan. We try to help them have a plan and help them be employable and hopefully make good money.
So if they're wanting to go maybe the college route after ATCC instead of just the workforce, how do the classes that they take at ATCC while they're in high school help give them a boost and prepare them for that route?
Sure. So all of our, like I mentioned, they're concurrent credits, so they're earning high school and college at the same time. So all of our classes that we offer at ATCC are honored by Arkansas Tech Ozark, and so all of our programs are stackable with the programs that are at Arkansas Tech in Ozark, and so they're able to take those credits and transfer them right over to Ozark and continue their college education.
What are some of the hands-on things? I know we already touched on this a little bit, but some of the more specific hands-on opportunities that they get at ATCC that is different from a high school lab setting.
Sure. So let's take our automation program, for example. I didn't really get to touch on that much so far. In automation, they're working on what they call PLCs, and automation is machines doing work alongside people. And so they learn to work alongside like robots, for example. So we were able to take some students to CTE Day at the Capitol in Little Rock last month. And we had some students who were in construction go and represent. We had students who were in welding represent, and we had some students in automation who took a cobot. I don't know the difference between a cobot and a robot, but these guys called it a cobot, and they had 3D printed Lincoln logs, and the log this cobot would build a log cabin, and it was just very cool to watch that. It was very cool to watch these students take so much pride and program this machine. They programmed and developed the Lincoln logs. They programmed the machine and the machine would pick those pieces up, and they built a little cabin, and it was very cool. So those are some really neat experiences that they get to have as students. And in the automation program, they learn electricity, they learn hydraulics. There's just a really wide variety of things that they learn, and they can take these skills. If you look at industry, especially in the River Valley, those are skills that they can take to a lot of different industries and be very employable.
So we've mentioned industry a lot, and I know that they come out with these industry recognized certifications. So how does ATCC work with industries to, number one, align curriculum with them, and two, prepare students to enter the industry?
So great question, because one thing that we really focus on at ATCC is building relationships with industry, and I want feedback. We want feedback from our industry partners, because they're the ones who are employing our students. So we're like, what do you want our students to know? Because these are the students who are going to go apply for jobs at your location. So we're willing to gear curriculum for them. Just like we partner with the Millwright in town, and we have an entire semester in construction where it's Career Connections, and it is a curriculum geared for students who want to go work at the Millwright. And so they'll have those skills, they'll have the knowledge, especially it's foundational. Most of these industry partners are going to train their employees when they get there, and they're going to give them the skills that they really want to know. But something that some of the best feedback I've gotten from industry partners is they're like, maybe they know how to weld, maybe they know how to run a CNC machine, but what we really want students to be able to look us in the eye, shake our hand, provide eye contact, be able to communicate, work in a team. And those are a lot of the intangible skills that we help students learn that it's really going to benefit them no matter what they do. Maybe a student takes 2 years of welding at ATCC. They might not ever be a welder, but they're going to work in a team. They're going to need to be able to communicate. They're going to need to be able to take those skills that they learn and apply them in any setting that they go to. So those are really areas that we focus on, and it's important to us that we have well-rounded students when they come out of there.
Yeah, that's very important for just the future of the workforce. And kind of on top of that, how do the programs at ATCC and the students coming out of it, how does that impact our workforce in our region and help support economic development in the area?
Well, the more skilled workers that we have in the River Valley, the better chances of higher paying jobs coming to our area. If we have the employees to support industry, then they're going to bring their industry here to town. And they're going to bring those jobs to town. They're going to bring those technical jobs to town and into our area, and because they know they're going to have a workforce that can come in and make an impact on their products or the line of things that they're doing. So that's important stuff.
With all of these awesome things happening at ATCC, what are some of the things that you are most excited for about the future of it that maybe you can share with us?
That's a great question. I think I'm most excited about the opportunities that we're providing to students, and the River Valley and is really a great location for a career and technical education program. There's a lot of great jobs in the River Valley.
Yes.
And we have a lot of great students in the River Valley. And so I think I'm most excited about lining up those opportunities with students, because I'm telling you, we have some really, really brilliant students who can do a lot of things. And I think there's a gap though from a bright student and how they get to where they want to go, or
yes,
plugging them into an industry job. Especially some of these jobs come with amazing benefits. These industry folks, they'll continue to educate students. Hey, it doesn't mean just because you go get a job right after high school, you're not going to further your education. That's the opposite of what's going on. They're bringing students on right out of high school. They're training them, but they're also giving them, sometimes they're paying for their education. They're getting them an associate's degree, maybe even a bachelor's degree. And now that student didn't even have to pay for any of their own college education. They went to work. They made better than minimum wage right out of high school. They're getting their education paid for, and they maybe making $30, $40, $50 an hour within a few years right out of high school without going the traditional route, so to speak. And so that's probably what I'm most excited about. I've learned a ton in the last 6 months about those opportunities, and so I think I'm most excited about the connections that we're going to be able to make for students and industry partners, bringing them together, bringing the right people to the right places.
Yeah, I think it's really honestly invaluable, and a lot of students, that's exactly what they're looking for. Maybe they don't know exactly what they want to do after high school, but they know they want to do something that is going to make them money and support them. And if they can get it without paying for it, that's even better. So I think you've kind of touched on how much you love helping the students, but what would be your favorite thing about being the director at ATCC?
Well, when you go into education, you go into education for students, and my favorite thing about it so far is seeing students and seeing them in those working situations, and they're loving what they do. Those students in automotive, they're replacing an engine on a truck, and they're just, you can tell when they show up, they're ready to go to work. And they're ready to roll their sleeves up, and they're ready to work on their welding project, or they're ready to work on if they're building a web page, or in computer science, they can work on a cybersecurity certificate. And they're just, that's probably my favorite part, seeing their eyes light up, and it's an opportunity for them to get out of the classroom and into a different classroom setting where they're really able to do some work and working with tools. You know, that we partnered. We were able to get a little chunk of money in order to buy some tools, and so these students were able to get what we call a pack out gear in construction. They've got brand new tool belts and toolboxes and toolkits, and each student was assigned their toolbox, and they take pride in that toolbox. And they, watching them evolve into someone who is like, they don't know what this is another class, but then all of a sudden it becomes theirs. Right. And it's their project. It's their bench they're working on. It's their picnic table. It's their, whatever the project is, it becomes theirs. They look forward to it. They become self-starters, and they're really learning skills that are going to carry them in life. And that's probably my favorite part so far.
So whenever other people visit the Career Center and they get to see some of that pride that the students have you noticed anything that normally surprises people about the Career Center?
I think they're surprised that they're high school students. I think that's one thing that's really surprising to them. They're like, these are high school students. These are that are working on real life projects, and that's where it's. I think that's where the surprise is. I see the surprise on their face, and I'm not sure what they were expecting when they walked in. If they were just expecting a little, maybe a simulated repair shop or a simulated welding shop, but you walk in, you've got 25 welding students and 25 welding bays, and sparks are flying, and it's impressive. And you've got 4 vehicles that are up on lifts, and they're torn apart, and students are putting parts on, and they're working on things, and they're banging on things, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, wow, these guys. They almost always are. Can they work on my car? And so it's always funny to watch. It kind of, you can see it working in their mind, and it wasn't what they were expecting. They probably didn't know exactly what to expect. When they see it, they're impressed usually. I believe.
So if there are any students or parents that are interested in getting involved in the Career Center, whether that be signing their student up or just supporting it, what would be their next steps?
They definitely need to check out our Facebook page and our social media. So look for the Arkansas Tech Career Center or ATU Ozark. And also we have our websites connected with the ATU family of websites, so they can get on and find what programs we offer and things like that online on the website. They can always call and schedule an appointment to come by and look at the facilities.
Are there other ways for just community members to get involved and support the center?
Great question. We built some picnic tables this year in the construction program, and we've put them up for sale. And so we've sold two out of the 3. So we're not making a bunch of money. We're essentially looking to fund projects.
Okay.
So we're just looking to buy wood, screws, metal for welding. If you bring your car in, you can make a donation. If you get an oil change, you're going to need to pay for your oil and pay for your oil filter. But of course, the labor you're not charged for labor. But if you wanted to make a donation, all that money is going to go right back into the program, because it does take in welding. It takes a lot of gas. It takes a lot of sticks to weld and metal. It takes oil and just parts to repair things. You got to have parts. You got to have new parts. Right. In construction, you always have to have new blades, because they wear out. You have to have wood to build things. You have to have fasteners and things to fasten. So you got to have a lot of stuff. Yes. It takes a lot of stuff to build stuff. And so you can support in that nature. If you have a project you want done, you could call us up, and ideally maybe you bring us a load of lumber and you say, build me a hunting blind, build me a bench, and we'll do it. We've got great opportunity. So there's several levels involved in that. A student gets to interact with a customer. A student gets to build a project to a spec to suit a client, and so they're learning business. They're learning how to communicate. They're learning a lot of levels of really important life skill to have. By the way, Charis, there's one thing I want to mention. On April 16th, we're going to have what's called an Edge Night. So we're trying to give our students an edge. So we're kind of coining the phrase Edge Night. Give your students the edge. So we educate, develop, grow, and help students enter.
Okay.
Whether it's the workforce, college, or the military. So that's Edge. And on the 16th, we're gonna have the Edge Night, and it's for seniors and parents to come out to ATCC, and they can work with ATU Ozark recruiters. They can work with financial aid folks and help apply for financial aid that night, and just learn more about the next steps that they want to take in their future. And so we're going to have that night, and we're just helping students to get an edge.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to support them beyond what they've done, that they've accomplished at the Career Center.
That's our aim.
Yeah. So we're also really looking forward to celebrating them on April 28th for
The honors ceremony.
Yes.
Yes. Perfect.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. If you would like to learn more about Arkansas Tech Career Center, you can visit www.atu.edu/career center. Thank you. See you next time.